Listen closely, because there's a truth most people run from, hide from, pretend isn't there. But you're here. And that means you're ready. Ready to hear the one thing that separates the people who wish from the people who win by life is nothing without hard work. Not talent, not luck, but comfort, but hard. Work, bar. That's the foundation, the fire. The force that turns an ordinary life into something extraordinary. Hard work is the price of admission to every dream you carry in your heart. You can want success, crave success, visualize success every single night, but none of that matters if you aren't willing to put in the grind that success demands. The world doesn't reward intention, it rewards execution. You don't rise because you believe you deserve more. You rise because you do more, consistently, deliberately, even when no one is watching. Hard work is not optional. It is not something you sprinkle on top when you feel inspired. It is the foundation, the entry ticket, the non-negotiable requirement for a life of meaning. Most people don't fail because they aren't talented. They fail because they aren't committed. Talent can open a door, but only hard work keeps that door from slamming in your face. You can be the smartest, most gifted, most naturally skilled person in the room. But if the person next to you is willing to outwork you, they will outrun you every single time. Hard work is the great equalizer. It doesn't care where you come from, what you've been through, or who doubted you. It rewards the one who shows up day after day with relentless persistence. The truth is, hard work tests you long before it rewards you. It demands early mornings when your body begs for sleep. It demands late nights when your mind is exhausted. It demands sacrifices, real ones. The kind that make you uncomfortable. The kind that force you to let go of the habits and distractions that have kept you small. Hard work pushes you to face parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. It exposes your excuses, your weaknesses, your patterns. But in that exposure, it also builds strength. It reshapes you into someone more focused, more responsible, more powerful than you ever imagined. Hard work teaches you that success is not a moment, it's a lifestyle. You don't work hard for a week and expect transformation. You don't grind once and expect results forever. Hard work asks for consistency, not intensity alone. It's the steady repetition of actions that seem meaningless in the moment, but become monumental over time. The reps at the gym, the late-night study sessions, the hours spent learning a new skill, the discipline to stay locked in when distractions scream for your attention. Hard work is the accumulation of effort that compounds into greatness. There will always be people who try to bypass the process, people who chase shortcuts, hacks, quick wins. But shortcuts might take you somewhere fast. They just won't take you anywhere meaningful. The truth is, if success came easily, you wouldn't value it. You wouldn't fight for it. You wouldn't protect it. Hard work gives weight to your accomplishments. It makes you proud, not just of what you achieved, but of who you became on the journey to achieve it. And that pride, that internal fire, that is what keeps you hungry for more. Hard work is the promise you make to yourself that you will not waste your potential. It is the daily commitment to rise above your excuses, to silence the part of you that wants to stay comfortable, and to step boldly toward the life you were meant to build. Anyone can want more. Anyone can dream bigger. But only the ones willing to grind for it, willing to earn it, ever experience the full power of their own capability. Comfort looks harmless on the surface, soft, easy, inviting. But it is one of the most dangerous forces in your life. It slowly convinces you that where you are is good enough, even when you know deep down it isn't. It numbs ambition, quiets hunger, and wraps you in a warm blanket of mediocrity. People rarely notice comfort stealing their potential because it doesn't attack loudly. It creeps in quietly. It tells you to relax when you should be moving. It tells you to slow down when you should be rising. And if you listen to it long enough, you forget the sound of your own ambition. Comfort also feeds on routine. The kind of routine that asks for nothing from you and gives nothing back. It's the loop that keeps you stagnant. Same job, same habits, same mindset, same results. And the more you repeat that loop, the harder it becomes to break out of it. Comfort protects the old version of you, the one who fears change, the one who doesn't want to stretch or grow. But the truth is, any life worth living demands movement, elevation, evolution. When you stay in comfort too long, you trade progress for familiarity. You trade potential for predictability. And that trade will always cost you more than you realize. The part most people never admit is that comfort feels safe, that you deserve a break, that you've already done enough. When deep down, you know you're operating far below your potential. Comfort makes you settle for half effort, half focus, half dreams. And the danger is not that comfort slows you down. The danger is that it convinces you that slowing down is okay, that average is acceptable, that staying the same is harmless. But you know better. You felt the pull of something bigger. You know there's a version of yourself that isn't satisfied with staying where you are. That version of you is restless for a reason. It's trying to pull you out of the comfort that's been holding you down. Because the moment you step into the uncomfortable, the moment you stretch beyond what feels familiar, you begin unlocking parts of yourself that comfort could never reveal. Skills you didn't know you had, strength you didn't know you carried, levels of resilience you've never accessed. And if we're being honest, the discomfort that scares you at first eventually becomes the proof that you're growing. It becomes the signal that you're on the right path. You start realizing that the life you want doesn't exist inside your comfort zone. It exists just outside of it, where the work is harder, the stakes are higher, and the rewards are greater. Comfort will always invite you to stay small, but discomfort is the doorway to everything powerful, everything meaningful, everything extraordinary in your life. Discipline is the force that transforms intention into reality. It's the bridge between who you are and who you're trying to become. Most people rely on motivation, but motivation is unstable. It comes and goes like weather. Discipline, on the other hand, is solid. It's steady. It's the voice inside you that says, get up, keep going, do it anyway. Discipline doesn't ask if you feel inspired. It doesn't wait for the perfect mood. It demands action, regardless of how comfortable or uncomfortable that action feels. It is the quiet, unwavering power behind every breakthrough you've ever admired. Discipline teaches you that the hardest part of growth is not starting, it's staying consistent. Anyone can be fired up for a day, anyone can commit for a week. But discipline is what keeps you moving long after the excitement fades. It's what pushes you out of bed when your body wants rest and pulls you toward your goals when your mind is filled with doubt. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, it's repetition, it's structure. It's keeping promises to yourself even when no one else knows you made them. That consistency is what separates progress from stagnation, growth from regret. The truth is, discipline reshapes your identity. Every time you follow through on a commitment, big or small, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, resilient, and trustworthy to yourself. And that trust is priceless. Most people break promises to themselves, as without thinking twice, and every broken promise chips away at their confidence. Discipline rebuilds that confidence piece by piece. It trains your mind to believe in your own ability to show up, to push through discomfort, to chase something bigger than your excuses. Over time, discipline becomes who you are, not just something you do. But discipline is uncomfortable, and that discomfort is exactly why it's powerful. It forces you to confront your limits, your fears, your habits, your patterns. When you commit to discipline, you commit to stepping into the parts of your life you've avoided, the work you've been delaying, the skills you've ignored, the goals you've been postponing. Discipline doesn't let you hide. It doesn't give you escape routes. It puts you face to face with your potential and asks, are you going to rise to meet it? That pressure may feel heavy at times, but it is the weight that strengthens you. Discipline also creates freedom. Ironically, the freedom everyone tries to achieve without it. When you are disciplined with your time, you gain freedom in your schedule. When you are disciplined with your finances, you gain freedom in your choices. When you are disciplined with your habits, you gain freedom in your future. Most people think discipline is restrictive, but the real restriction comes from a lack of discipline. Without it, your life is controlled by impulses, distractions, and emotions. With discipline, your life is controlled by intention.br. And the beautiful part of discipline is that it compounds. The small actions add up. The early mornings stack. The late nights matter. The discipline you practice today becomes the momentum that carries you forward tomorrow. You don't see the progress immediately, and that's where most people quit. They mistake invisibility for lack of impact. But discipline is like a seed. It grows underground before it breaks through the surface. Every day you show up, you water that seed. You strengthen your foundation. You prepare yourself for the moment everything you've been working for finally unfolds. Failure is not the enemy. Stagnation is. Most people fear failure because they think it exposes weakness. But in reality, it exposes the truth, who you are, how you respond, and what you're willing to learn. Failure is raw, uncomfortable, humbling, but that's exactly why it's powerful. It strips away ego and excuses and leaves you face to face with the reality of your effort. When life knocks you down, it's not a sign to quit, it's a signal that you're being shaped. Every successful person you admire has been broken open by failure 1,000 times over. They didn't rise because they avoided setbacks. They rose because they let setbacks refine them. The resilience you're looking for, the strength, the confidence, the grit, doesn't come from winning. It comes from getting back up after losing. Every time you fall and choose to rise again, you become a different person, a stronger one. You discover that you can survive more than you thought. You learn that failure isn't final unless you decide it is. And that realization is liberating. It frees you from perfectionism, from overthinking, from the fear of judgment. Because once you understand that failure is simply part of the process, not the end of it, you stop tiptoeing through life and start taking bold, necessary steps toward your goals. Failures are also feedback, hard, honest feedback. They reveal what isn't working so you can adjust, refine, and improve. Without failure, you would walk blindly towards success, carrying the same flaws and habits that eventually sabotage you. Failure redirects you. It sharpens your instincts. It teaches you what to stop doing just as much as what to start doing. And that kind of clarity doesn't come from comfort or easy wins. It comes from falling short, looking at what happened without denial, and choosing to grow from it instead of running away from it. When you fear failure, you hold yourself back from the very experiences that would transform you. You avoid risks, avoid challenges, avoid anything that might expose your current limitations. But avoiding failure also means avoiding success, because the two are woven together. You cannot have one without walking through the other. The people who stay stuck are the ones who only move when the outcome is guaranteed. But greatness never comes with guarantees. It comes from stepping into the unknown, taking risks that stretch your comfort zone, and trusting that even if you stumble, you'll rise sharper, wiser, better. Failure also teaches humility, the kind of humility that keeps you grounded when success finally arrives. Without failure, success becomes fragile, inflated by ego and entitlement. But when you've tasted defeat, felt disappointment, and climbed your way out of setbacks, you carry your success differently. You appreciate it more, you protect it more. You understand the value of what you've earned. Failure gives depth to your victories, reminding you where you came from and how hard you fought to get there. And perhaps the most important part of failure, it reminds you that you're alive, striving, reaching for something bigger than yourself. People who never fail are not people who are winning, they are people who are not trying. They are standing still while life moves around them. Failure means you dared to step forward. It means you had the courage to leave the comfort zone others are still hiding in. It means you chose growth over safety, purpose over fear, ambition over ease. And that choice, repeated over and over, is what builds a life of meaning, resilience, and unstoppable momentum. Your future self is not some distant, imaginary version of you. It is the direct result of the choices you commit to, even when nobody sees it. Every day is a negotiation between who you are and who you want to become. And your future self is always in the room. They stand in every decision, every moment of resistance, every crossroad between discipline and comfort. When you choose the hard path, the one with sacrifice, focus, and intention, you're choosing them. You're choosing the life you want instead of the life that happens by default. You're choosing evolution over stagnation. And the greatest gift you can give that future version of yourself is the effort you put in today. Hard work creates a kind of freedom that comfort will never understand. Most people believe freedom comes from luck, timing, or opportunity, but real freedom is built behind the scenes, through sacrifice, discipline, and relentless effort. When you work hard, you stop depending on circumstances to change. You stop waiting for someone to pick you, save you, or open a door for you. Instead, you learn to build the door yourself. Hard work is the moment you stop living at the mercy of chance and start taking ownership of your path. It's the point where your life stops happening to you and starts happening through you. The freedom that comes from hard work is the freedom to choose. Without effort, your options shrink. You end up staying in places you've outgrown, accepting situations you hate, and tolerating environments that drain you, because you don't have the leverage to walk away. But when you've worked for your skills, your strength, your reputation, your resilience, you gain the ability to say no. You gain the power to step into rooms you once felt unworthy of. You gain the courage to pursue opportunities that used to intimidate you. Hard work expands your world, offering you choices that comfort can never provide. Hard work also gives you the freedom of confidence, deep internal confidence that cannot be shaken by opinion or comparison. When you know you've earned your progress, when you know you've put in the hours, when you know you've pushed past obstacles, you carry yourself differently. You move with certainty. You trust your own abilities. You stop doubting your place in the rooms you step into because you understand your value was built, not handed to you. This kind of confidence isn't loud, it's solid. It lives in your posture, your decisions, your presence, and it's something that can only be sculpted through effort. When you commit to hard work, you also gain the freedom to grow. Most people wait for growth to happen naturally, but growth requires intention. It requires showing up when it's uncomfortable. It requires trying again when you fail. It requires pushing through resistance when your mind screams to stop. Hard work breaks you out of patterns that keep you small and forces you into new levels of capability. With every challenge you face and every barrier you break, you become someone who is capable of more. Someone who expands instead of shrinking. There is also a freedom in knowing your success wasn't an accident. When you've worked for something, you don't fear losing it. You don't feel like an imposter. You don't question whether you deserve it. Because you know exactly what it cost you. You remember the nights you stayed up, the mornings you got up, the sacrifices you made, the temptations you resisted, the consistency you protected. Hard work creates a foundation so solid that no failure, no criticism, no setback can take away what you've built internally. You become grounded in your own strength. And perhaps the greatest freedom hard work offers is the freedom to design a life you respect, a life you're proud of, a life that reflects intention instead of convenience. When you work hard, you're not just building a career or achieving goals. You're shaping your character, defining your standards, and writing a story that means something. Hard work gives you the ability to look in the mirror and say, I earned this, I fought for this, I became this, and there is no freedom more powerful than the freedom of self-respect.